This altcoin season that everyone is expecting in 2025, in my opinion, it will be only a half-coin season. And I will explain this whole theory of mine, which I have since 2023. And if you don't know who I am, don't worry, I'm new here. And if you are too, just go subscribe. My name is Christian, Kifoy, not Chifoy. And I got a bunch of videos on the stock market and some macros and some crypto space stuff. Something like only 12 clips. After you see this one, in my opinion, you should go see all of them. Just binge watch them for an hour and a half, something like that. It would make a lot more sense to see how I view these markets and how I make money by positioning myself correctly in this cycle and preparing for the next. So this half-coin season theory of mine began with a single chart, and we would go on it right now. It is the XRP chart. In my opinion, in 2025, meaning this season for all coins, is that the majority of coins, because there are a whole bunch of them, something like a few millions, which is a lot more comparing to 2021 and much more comparing to 2017. And there are some main differences. I started this theory with the XRP chart, but honestly, there's a lot of charts that look similar. We're gonna go through them in a bit. Basically, my whole theory sounds like this. The majority of coin which have at least one bull market before this one, at least one, should visit this area right here between the 0.618 Fibonacci and the 0.786, and then roll over into the next bear market. Something similar to how the XRP chart behaved in 2021. So it doesn't matter if you hold Litecoin or Filecoin. You can see the Filecoin chart had at least one bull market here. And my theory is that from the lows, we would not see, for the majority of coins, this area right here breached and going to new all-time highs. We can place bets on which coins can do this. One bet of mine since 2023 was the Chainlink chart. That's why I got heavy into Chainlink in the second half of 2023. And you can see here how my theory is looking for now. Just rejected from this area right here. And I'm betting that this one is a more special one, let's call it like that, that can bring a new all-time high. Of course, I'm not dogmatic. I already sold 40% of my Chainlink in these areas because you never know. And I really want to take something off the table when I see these big areas get rejected. I bought a little back, but mostly I distributed these profits right here into other coins. We'll get to that in a moment. So basically, Chainlink for me is a special project that could deliver something bigger than a half-coin season. But mostly on the other charts, like Filecoin, like Polkadot, like eGold, in my opinion, this should be the end zone for this bull market, for most of them. Now, because I said that there are similar charts to the XRP chart in 2021, this is the IOTA chart, which IOTA is a project similar to XRP, which is an ISO compliant coin. You can see here the half-coin season. So, rule of thumbs, at least one bull market before. This one had two, which is okay. So, this rejection area right here in 2021 looks exactly the same as for XRP. But this is a major compression, which in my opinion, this one, this time is not going to hold. This is my bet. I can be wrong. On the road up, a lot of things can happen differently than I'm viewing them right now. But no problem, I would adapt. Something like this being something of a rejection by year end, well, maybe this compresses more into the next season. But in my opinion, this is a lagging chart, and you can see the structure looking very, very similar to the XRP chart. And you can see how the half-coin season for the XRP worked in 2021. But now, this major compression for something like, let's see, 2018, 2024, 6, maybe 7 years of compression. You can see how the chart looks right now because XRP is also a leader and others are lagging. Let's go to another one. Let's take the Litecoin chart. Same thing. One bull market, second bull market. This one got a little bit over the half-coin season target and did a new shallow all-time high. But then again got to the 0.618 Fibonacci area, played a little more and roll over. But the same compression, in my opinion, is building also into this one. You can almost see it, how it could look in the future if it takes something like a similar path to the XRP chart and doing something like this. Maybe, just maybe, when it starts to rip up from a major compression area, this kind of charts can look like monsters in the next few months. That's why I chose this one it has a bigger risk to reward, in my opinion. We have the tap of this area right here, which could look something like an inverse head and shoulders. Let's just ignore this one. I don't know what it is. Looks like a secret tunnel to a big mountain. But in my opinion, this looks kind of amazing right now. Also, if you want for yourself to apply some magical trend lines, just for the sake of the TA, you can see here this retest of the trend line holding. Also, you can use the Fibonacci retracements, just the same as we use them to get the half-coin season targets. You can see here major rejections from the 0.786 and 0.618 Fibonacci area, something like a golden pocket, just as it rejected from here in 2021. Lots and lots of confluences on the TA part. And also the next big area of resistance is the same Fibonacci targets, which are way higher than this. And I will get to the money making part in a second. But you can see you don't need a new all-time high to make money. You just need to be positioned from this lower area right here where no one is interested. And you can see how the gains could look if only we touch on this one. But when we're trying to speculate and place our money into these markets, we should always know what the biggest risk to reward actually is. And in my opinion, this is a nice area right here for the top of the IOTA chart. Now, the only question that comes to mind is, we go this season like this and we go to the bear market, and only after that in the next bull market we touch it, or we shoot up from here really fast. I do not know the answer to this one. I can only be positioned and then reassess as we get the price up. And the only way I can answer to my own question right now is letting cycles do their thing. And if you don't understand what I mean by cycles, again, you should watch all my clips, because I explained where we are in this cycle. And also in my half-coin season theory, which if you apply it to other charts, maybe the Filecoin chart, again, you don't need to make a new all-time high to make money. You just need to be positioned from the lowest parts of your chart and to see the half-coin targets if they are to be touched. So you have for the half-coin season target here an upside of 1400 to something like 2500% returns. So this is still huge. I do not understand why all people, mostly on Twitter, ask me, can we do a new all-time high on maybe DOT, on the X coin or the other coin? Bro, in order to make money in this market, just pick that Fibonacci area that is most likely to be rejected, because we can have a rejection also at the 0.5. You should watch your chart and also watch the Bitcoin dominance explained in my clips here. I've laid out how the Bitcoin dominance should look and how to look at your own charts when the Bitcoin dominance drops to the next major area, again, on what could be the most probabilistic area to reject when it dumps. Let's see how. This is the Bitcoin dominance. You can see here, I'm doing this exercise since 2022 when I got all into Bitcoin, and I also targeted my maybe something of a peak for the Bitcoin dominance. You can see here we have some rejections already here. Maybe we do something like this, but this was actually my main area from where the Bitcoin dominance should have stopped. Now, going with the same alignment, we do this thing on the reverse. You can see here, this is my major area to watch out for a potential reverse for the Bitcoin dominance. Of course, I can be wrong and this could go way lower, but if you want to make money in this market, put on some rules. At least for me, the first rule right here, check out the most probabilistic area where a mean reverse could happen. And second, see how the price reacts when it gets to that major area, which is the most probabilistic to see a mean reverse out of. And when this starts to go down, or just continues to go down, on this road right here, you should already be packing your profits and leaving them on a side, because this is the signal, if it stops here like this, that it wants a new reverse to the upside. And if your chart stops right here and the Bitcoin dominance goes to that area, which is the most probabilistic area to see a mean reverse out of, the same could be applied if my price targets to the upside are not reached right now. I want to exit the market with something like at least 80%, because then the most probabilistic area for another mean reverse is back down from the lows into maybe 2027, I don't know. So basically, if you use this special keyword named time, you have no reason to not make money in any market. Making money using time as a measure of your investments is the most probabilistic thing to happen to you and maybe your family. I do not know who you are, where you're from. I'm from Romania actually, nobody's perfect. I'm playing this cycle in this way since 2022 into March 2023 with Bitcoin as my biggest position, and then in 2023 I got reinterested in some altcoins. Some of them did not perform well like eGold, some of them were good like Chainlink, others like Velo or Jasmy Coin did something like a 15 to 16x. I've also mentioned them on my Twitter account, but I also got rug pulled by some other projects, which gets me to another rule: sizing. Be careful with size, because this chart, the Velo chart, told me this was a mid to low cap, so my size was mid to low. The Chainlink chart showed me that this is a big project and also a big cap, so my sizing was big. Same with other coins like CRV. CRV was a mid cap, almost to a big cap, so my sizing was mid to big. This was actually my latest best performer, and now I'm hoping maybe that the IOTA chart will be my next big performer. Maybe this cycle, maybe into the next. I'm not dogmatic. I can wait, I can make money, even if it stops here. Oh bro, just a 10x. Why not go for the small fish, something like low caps, maybe some unicorns, maybe a 4 million market cap, where you can invest something like 100k to maybe do something like a 50x. I really do not get this kind of behavior in this market. In my opinion, just pick big players which have charts like this, and even if we don't see a new all-time high for the IOTA chart, like I was saying, in this area right here, maybe $30. Okay, so I'm not getting 200x on my money. Maybe I'm just getting 10x, and that's not a problem for me, because when the cycle is over, again, go to my channel, see all the clips, see what I mean by cycle is over, and also see where we are in this secular cycle. I've explained this topic in my latest clip 11 days ago. Yes, I post rarely, which is why you should stay tuned. So if I'm only doing something like 10x and here we stop, I'm selling 80 to 90%, maybe 100%, because in my opinion the cycle is over, and then I get back in, and from here, if we do see a new all-time high, imagine the compound on this monster. Just think about something like this: 10k right here, you make 100k. You get ready 100k back here at, let's say, 14 cents, and you do another 78x. Does this not sound good for you? From a 10k investment, using time, not only price, compounding 100k, placing a 100k bet back in this project because you studied it, and it does you something like 28, 29 into the next Shemitah year. Remember what I've talked about the next cycle, because in my opinion the next cycle for altcoins is going to be, for the ones that survive, the biggest altcoin season since 2017. And you made from 10k $7.8 million just in one project. Of course, all this sounds like fairy tales. I get the point. It's all a theory. Maybe it can happen, maybe it cannot happen, but that's how you should think about investing in all markets. And remember that the paramount rule is to always start with Bitcoin, because if Bitcoin doesn't pump, your shitcoin will never pump. So if you don't start the next season with Bitcoin being the majority of your portfolio, you have no business being an investor in the crypto space, in my honest and humble opinion. To my members, I've also explained why, even if Ethereum got something like a shallow new all-time high, something like a Litecoin 2021 season, maybe it does something like this and rolls over into the next bear market. In my opinion, in this window from to 2028, 2029, the next Shemitah year, in my opinion, one Ethereum coin should be more than 10, 20, maybe 30k. So this clip for today, I wanted to make it like this because the market is a mechanism that transfers wealth from the impatient to the patient. So if you zoom out and choose a higher time frame approach, you have no chance to exit the market without the big bucks. But again, don't be dogmatic. Do not chase 100x's, chase a 5 to 10x. And this is my half-coin season theory. Let's get back to the XRP chart for a bit, because again, if you replay the chart and you see something like this in, let's see where we're here, in 2020, while Bitcoin through here did something like a 4x, this one continued to go lower into this big cluster and I would bet big money that all people were saying back here that XRP is dead because they only look on the lower time frame and on the drop. But even from here, from something like let's see, 16 cents, let's say you didn't catch the COVID crash, but you would have caught it something like 17, let's say 17 cents. Let's see the half-coin season target after that. So from 17 cents, you would have made something like a 10x. So in my opinion, in this season, just chase a 5 to 10x and think about what we talked about next season into 2028 and 2029. Think about you compound a 10x or maybe a 7x. It depends on your shitcoins, because if you have no Bitcoin right now, that's the lesson you need to remember for the next season. You don't cry about it right now, you just move on and remember it. And let's say you chase a 7x, which is, in my opinion, easy to get right now. You have a whole bunch of charts. I've showed you some, but you should not just follow my lead blindly. Just take your own charts, learn how to draw a Fibonacci retracement. You have tutorials all over on YouTube. I don't do this kind of tutorials. And just chase a 5 to 10x. And remember the compounding that comes after 2026 when the cycle is resetting and into the next season. That's how you get your 100x. Guaranteed? Not really. More probabilistic? Of course. In the market, we play the probabilities. And by those probabilities, we choose how to position ourselves. I guess this is it for today, guys. Happy to be making another clip. It took me something like 11 days. Again, I'm begging you, just go binge watch all these clips. It won't take you more than 2 hours. Something like 2 shits and a meal. It won't take you long, but you will understand how I played this cycle and how I'm preparing for the next one. And during this time, how I got stupid rich. And literally my life changed in something like 3 years. But again, I'm more excited about next year into 2028 and 2029. And not only about the money, but the game itself. I really enjoy playing this game. So if you want to learn more how I play this game, you have my website right here. Become a member. I'm posting monthly market updates, going into depth and posting more often for all the members. That's it for today, guys. See you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.